What about the running backs? Who are we starting?
Let's get Bucky Irving into your lineups. Obviously, Rachaad White goes without saying, but look at Bucky's numbers. 15 plus points in 4 of his last 5 games. He's in the top 10 in rush EPA. It's a good matchup against the Giants. They've allowed 8 running backs to beat them for more than 14 points, including 6 who've hit that mark since week 5. So Bucky Irving and Rachaad White are starters this week. And in that same game, so is Tyrone Tracy. He's been really good for fantasy managers. 15 plus points in 3 of his last 5 games. His touch share has pushed 40% in the last 3 games. He's got the Bucks this week. They've allowed 13 plus fantasy points to 11 different running backs, and that includes 3 who've hit the 18-point mark since week 7. And during that time, 2 have gone over 23 points. So start Tyrone Tracy. These 2 sit-em running backs are not sit-ems because you have to play them. But in DFS, I would fade them. And if I did start them, I would temper expectations. Chuba Hubbard's at the top of the list. And listen, he's been great. I got to play him, guys. I get it. But the Chiefs have only allowed 1 running back to beat them for 13.2 points. They've played a ton of good running backs. And I know James Cook had a good game against them. It was a complete outlier.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy did something that typically does not happen in NFL history. He scored over 19 fantasy points on 27 total yards. He had 5 catches. I think he had 7 or 9 yards as a receiver, and he scored 2 touchdowns. So Hubbard is going to need to get into the end zone and give you 4 or 5 catches out of the backfield in order to really put up a good stat line, or at least a respectable one. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And then Tony Pollard. Yes, the volume could be there because Tajay Spears is dealing with a concussion, but Pollard had 4.9 points last week. He's playing at less than 100%. He's got that foot injury that's been dogging him for the last few weeks. And the Texans have allowed the 5th fewest fantasy points per game to running backs. So Pollard, to me, is probably a shaky RB2 flex at best.